very good afternoon to you and welcome to the news update on Dominion Television Ibadan. I am Olusegun Fawole. The federal government has said it is working out administrative procedures and the release of funds for the evacuation of Nigerians affected by the ongoing crisis in parts of the Middle East. The spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kimebi Ebianfa, told news correspondents that arrangements for evacuation were ongoing. The update follows earlier concerns over the safety of Nigerians stranded in countries including Iran, Israel, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and Qatar, among others, after regional hostilities disrupted flights and travel plans. Newly sworn-in Minister of State for Finance, Taiwo Oyedele, has pledged to ensure Nigeria's tax reforms move from policy formulation to diligent execution, warning that reforms are only as good as the paper on which they are written. Oyedele made the commitment shortly after President Bola Tinubu administered the oath of office to him and commended him for rewriting the entire tax reform framework at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Speaking to State House correspondents after the ceremony, Oyedele identified revenue mobilization, spending efficiency, debt management, and fiscal sustainability as his immediate priorities. He promised to focus on generating sufficient revenue to meet increasing public demands on the Treasury at both federal and sub-national levels. Now talking politics, Ambassador Olufemi Ajadi, a governorship aspirant on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Oyo State, has emphasized the need for politicians to embrace good governance and people-oriented leadership as a fundamental principle of politics in Nigeria. Taiwo Olanrewaju completes the reports.
Party, PDP, in Oyo State, Ambassador Olufemi Ajadi Oguntoyinbo has called on politicians to embrace good governance and people-oriented leadership as the core principle of politics in Nigeria. He made the call after the 4th annual Ramadan lecture organized under his Omititun 3.0 platform in Ibadan, themed Oshelurere, meaning good governance. The lecture was delivered by Islamic scholar Fadilatu Sheikh Al-Fasar Usman Sani Shehu, who highlighted justice, accountability, and service to humanity as key pillars of leadership. Ajadi said the theme was deliberately chosen to educate both serving and aspiring politicians on the true essence of politics as service to the people.
We have a Ramadan lecture titled The Good Politics. And we have been doing it for a very long time in Ogun State. Here, we brought it to my father's town to associate and familiarize with the family, with the Muslim family. And I'm so happy to be in their midst today.
He added that the lecture aimed to correct the mindsets of politicians seeking office without clear development plans, urging Nigerians to use the Ramadan and Lenten season for spiritual renewal, unity, and prayers for the nation.
Without having something in mind to contribute to our nation. And that is the reason why the topic. That is why we call our father, Sonny Shehu, to come and speak with us about this topic.
Ajadi also expressed optimism about the electoral chances of his party in future elections.
So, our great party, PDP, will be on the ballot. And by the grace of God, we take total victory in every offices that are contested by the grace of God.
The event attracted clerics, political stakeholders, community leaders, and residents, featuring Quranic recitations, special prayers, and spiritual musical performances. Taiwo Olanrewaju, reporting for Dominion News.
Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party (PDP) Chairman Congress Committee in Ekiti State, Adebi Abiodun, says plans are underway to rebuild the fractured structure of the party and reposition it for future political success. Our correspondent reports that the party's Congress, monitored by officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and security agencies, produced Lanre Omolashe, an ally of former Governor Ayodele Fayose, as the state's chairman, while a former commissioner in the state, Tunde Ogunleye, emerged as secretary.
At the Congress, Dr. Adebiyi Abiodun said the exercise marked a critical step in repositioning the party, noting that efforts are ongoing to rebuild its internal structure and strengthen unity among members. He charged the newly elected executive to remain committed to the ideals of the party, respect its leadership, hierarchy, and work collectively in the interest of its growth and stability.
Like our leaders have said in Abuja, I think the next step is to bring all party members together for proper reconciliation for the purpose of election of 2027 so that PDP can present a formidable team.
In his address, the party delegate, former PDP governorship candidate in the last election, BC Kolawole, acknowledged that the party has faced internal challenges in recent times, which is said contributed to setback in its political fortune. Kolawole, however, expressed optimism that the leadership of the party at the national level is making deliberate effort to restore unity and rebuild the confidence of members across the country. He added that consultations are ongoing among party leaders and key stakeholders aimed at resolving differences and ensuring that the party emerge stronger, more cohesive, and better positioned for further election.
What happened today tells you that PDP is very much alive here, and we thank the leadership of our party, former Governor Nyesom Wike, our national leader, Governor Ayodele Fayose, for enabling us to have a successful Congress today.
Party members as parts of the broader effort to reposition the PDP in Ekiti State and strengthen its chances in subsequent political contests. Damilola Daudu reporting for Dominion News.
Women leaders, professionals, and entrepreneurs gathered for the Big Conversation Conference 2026. The conference, organized by Dominion Broadcast Group, brought together participants from different sectors to discuss issues affecting women in society. Taiwo Olanrewaju completes the report.
Women leaders, professionals, and entrepreneurs have gathered for the 2026 Big Conversation Conference aimed at empowering women and supporting small businesses. The event, organized by Dominion Broadcast Group as an extension of its television program, The Big Conversation, brought together participants from different sectors to discuss issues affecting women in society, careers, relationships, and entrepreneurship. Speaking at the conference, the general manager of television at Dominion Broadcast Group and co-host of the program, Ronkegiwa Onofua, said the initiative was designed to move conversations behind the studio by creating opportunities for women to connect.
We begin to ask better questions about our lives, not who's looking, who's wearing what. We're asking questions that are really empowering us. We ask questions about our careers, our lives, our relationships, and even our culture. And that is exactly what the Big Conversation is all about. So today we'll have conversations about identity, about relationships, about culture, about confidence, and about careers and visibility.
Share experiences and build meaningful networks. In her keynote address, Dr. Adekemi Felicia Okpatunde encouraged participants to translate meaningful conversations into actions.
There's need for follow-up. There's need to continue to seek for the people that you've empowered to put back into the society, not just the physical, but by way of training and retraining and encouraging more women to be intentional, to be courageous, to be themselves, to be in their original form, to be authentic.
The chairperson of the Nigerian Association of Women Journalists, Oyo State Chapter, Omolola Alamu, described the conference as a commendable initiative that
here today is a shot for women in the society. It brings women together to see how they're faring in their businesses, in their own world. This is a very big event, and I pray to continue.
A major highlight of the event was the emergence of Adebisi Opeyemi Aminat as winner of the business grant speech competition.
Excited, and this 250,000 naira grant will help me to position my brand into getting a new branded packaging that is NAFDAC compliant so that we can get our products in the shelves of supermarkets nearby you.
Organizers say plans are underway to make the conference an annual event and expand it to other cities. Taiwo Olandrewaju reporting for Dominion News.
And now to the foreign scene. South Africa has defended its diplomatic relationship with Iran, insisting that there is no justification for cutting ties despite mounting pressure from the United States. Zane Dango, Director General of International Relations, pushed back against comments by U.S. Ambassador Leo Bozell, who described Pretoria's association with Tehran as a barrier to stronger relations with Washington. In the same vein, Pretoria rejected a series of demands linked to the administration of Donald Trump, including calls to abandon its genocide case against Israel, scrap black empowerment policies, and accept a refugee program for white South Africans. Dango noted that while South Africa maintains ties with Iran, it is not uncritical. Asian industry officials says its utilities are boosting coal-fired power generation to cut costs and safeguard energy supply as the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran chokes liquefied natural gas, LNG shipment, and soaring prices threaten to suppress LNG demand. Governments across South and Southeast Asia are already responding with Bangladesh increasing coal-fired generation and imports to stabilize supply, while Pakistan is expanding domestic power production to avoid the kind of outage it experienced during the 2022 Russia-Ukraine war energy shock. Power Minister Awais Ligari said locally mined coal plants will now play a bigger role, particularly during off-peak hours as reliance on LNG declines. The coordinated shift signals a broader regional pivot back to coal as countries prioritize energy security over cleaner fuel alternatives in the face of global supply shocks. Iraq's oil minister said Baghdad is talking to Iran about allowing some of the country's oil tankers to pass through the Strait of Hormuz as Iraq seeks to ease disruptions of crude exports following recent attacks on tankers in its own waterways. Oil Minister Hayyan Abdel-Ghani said in a video statement that Iraq is also working to restore a disused pipeline that would allow oil to be pumped directly to Turkey's Ceyhan port without passing through the Kurdistan region. The oil ministry said exports via the route could initially reach about 250,000 barrels per day, rising to about 450,000 barrels per day if crude from fields in the Kurdistan region is included, with a plan to complete an inspection of a 100 section of the pipeline within a week. And now talking sports, British tennis star Emma Raducanu has withdrawn from this week's Miami Open as she continues her recovery from a recent illness, marking her second withdrawal from the tournament in 3 years. The British #1 fell ill while competing in the Middle East last month and is still dealing with lingering post-viral symptoms. She had received a first-round bye for the event, scheduled to take place in Miami Gardens, Florida from March 17th to March 29th. Tennis reporter Charlie Eccleshare confirmed her withdrawal on Monday, noting that Raducanu is still in the process of recovering. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to watch us live and listen and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast, and on X at Dominion Cast. And that ends the news update on Dominion Television. I am Olusegun Fawale. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.